And this can either be from a lack of nutrients or an excess of the wrong ones. Now, my name is Charles Wilson. I'm the founder of Cricket Flowers. This is Omar Ellis, Jenny Paul, and we are fortifying American nutrition with crickets. Now, many of you are probably asking why crickets. Kind of silent. If you have questions, ask them. So we chose crickets because what we're able to do is provide a sustainable, environmentally friendly protein that once again is not processed, but is able to give you all these benefits. So it's high in protein, as you can see, compared to cow, beef, poultry, all these other sources of protein. But in addition, provides iron, calcium, and B12 that you're not going to find in other products, in addition to actually providing all the essential amino acids. So as you see here, this is where our company started. We came up with the idea, I guess, at the beginning of the summer for our first product, which was our protein supplement drink. And I guess we'll pass around just some sample stuff, and you can see sort of our minimum viable product and how we actually got it out there. But we first started with our protein supplement drink, went with different flavor profiles, and took that to the Portland Accelerator for a competition. We ended up winning more of like a pitch example competition, but we actually presented them with this product. It's our Sinfully chocolate peanut butter protein drink. So from there, what we decided is actually putting it into our business model. We need a little bit better margins. So we know we can deliver protein, we know we can deliver iron, calcium, zinc, all these great other nutrients, but to get our margins and to provide another product, that's where we came up with our baking flour, and then also going back into our actual 100% pure cricket flour. So what you're seeing here is sort of the final iteration of our product bag. This is, we're selling a couple different products, but we're going to pass around sort of our first heat sealed bag that has, well, I guess it's our 20th heat seal bag. We sold the other ones.
Please don't open it.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually getting shipped out. But so that's sort of where we're at now. We started with the protein powder, moved into not only selling the 100% pure that's uncut with other different flavors, because that's what the market was actually coming in and asking for, and there's no educational hurdle to actually give them this product that they're asking us for from our website. And so, once again, this is just another, as it comes around, you can take a look at it. This is the next iteration. Our website, you still see a really bad photoshopped image of just a stand-up foil pouch, but interestingly enough, that was sort of enough for these people who are coming to our website looking for cricket flour and decided to sort of, I guess, take a chance on us to try our cricket flour. Now we actually have product packaging and flavors to give to them. We have our nutritional labels here where you can actually see what you're getting. But compared with our baking flour, if you go to the store, we're able to give you 35% more protein than what you're going to find in your King Arthur flour or something else you'll find at Safeway today. So a mom who might not be able to get her kid to eat vegetables, who they won't be getting that B12, they won't be getting iron, calcium, all these other things, they can get it in their cookies. They can get it in whatever they're normally used to baking without us trying to, be like, oh, try crickets just by itself. No, this is sort of our early adoption product. And once again, from the beginning, how we got out of the classroom and where we started, beginning in July, we actually launched a website, sort of going a little bit of a different approach of what you might have seen with the viral videos and things like that. We went with a more evergreen content marketing approach, so providing thought leadership and content about crickets to actually bring in sites and eyeballs to our website. So when people are looking for why crickets, they come to our website with that article and link, they can read that and then find out more information for our products, and that's how we built out our website, and then slowly we begin to change it so they can actually see the products that they can buy. Once again, these are just some facts that we have, and this is sort of, at least from today, we're seeing in over 66 different countries. Most of the people are looking for 100% pure cricket flour, and we had one from South Africa, Ireland, Denmark, and another one from Sweden. They're all even looking to export, well, for us to export and them to import our cricket flour because they're looking to actually launch this in their different markets. But we're first launching in America, as Omar will tell us, for our market validation. This is just showing you once again the different tracking we have of what people are doing when they come to our website, and then what are they doing from there. So from the beginning, we've been tracking to see our conversion. Once again, since we just got, you can try if you like, but as you can see, just go /buy. But as you can see, you can actually see where they're going on the website, and right now it's now actually trying to change some of these ones. Let's see. You can see some of these ones that are actually up there where they drop off. We're actually trying to then follow them through to see how we can continue and keep them in our pipeline. So now that we have products and more information, we can actually do that. So we started with our first product was that protein supplement drink. We launched that in August. We had some sales that way, and this is just to show you the different website visitors that have come to our website and what those conversion rates are. We just sold 5 more pounds of our product this week, which was pretty exciting, and even pushed those sales. And then these are sort of how we decided to go with our different product lines, is how are people actually using cricket flour? Because once again, because it is high in protein, where they can actually use a whey protein powder, they could use ours. So for the 100% pure cricket flour, they can use that to supplement what they're doing. And either a shake, either a protein bar they're making at home, or in their baking recipes. But these are sort of some quotes from people that we have that actually tried our product, and that's sort of how we're garnering interest and sort of continuing our market share approach of actually sharing those recipes, creating some of those different things.
Did you pay that guy to say so much yum in my tum?
Actually, no.
How fantastic is that?
I know.
Yum yum in my tum tum.
I know. Pretty good. I know. Thank you for pointing that out, though. But yeah, so we have a couple of them on there. Most of the people have been using. It's kind of hard to tell you, oh, this is what like the actual approach is over 6 months, because we've done sort of staged launches. So of course our protein powder, we have testimonials just from those, and then we moved into our actual baking flour, and then into our actual 100% pure. So it's hard to be like, oh, this is exactly what they're coming for, because we didn't have all 3 of those at once. So it's sort of a changed approach of where the interest is, and that's where we've been validating it with the sales and then interviews to see how they want to use it and what they're actually baking with it. And once again, this is what I mentioned before, evergreen content approach. This is sort of where our website is currently. We have like 16 different sites that are linking into us to begin with. We're in the first page of Google rankings for cricket flours. Obviously, we want to try to get up there for cricket flour. Since we launched at the beginning of the summer, the actual search traffic for cricket flour has increased fourfold. So not only are our own sales increasing, but the actual eyeballs who are looking for a cricket flour product, that's how we're actually trying to capture that approach. Once again, we have 4 different sources. We had a 30-minute radio slot we did with Radio Disney, just sort of talk about entrepreneurship, and then also what our product is in the market and how kids could start their own entrepreneurship program. So a little bit of a fluff piece, but definitely a way to get the word out there with Radio Disney. And this is sort of our next marketing strategy to push and continue on, because we're getting about 50 new users coming to our website each day, and then going and tracking them from there. So we definitely want to grow that, and this is how we're going to do it. We're working on the cookbook, which this right here is actually from one of our customers, but you can see she actually made a Parmesan breaded chicken recipe. We got that to share on our website. That's sort of what our whole idea of Club Cricket. You might have actually tried some of those picky bars, and they actually have a club where basically you can get a certain amount of picky bars each month. The idea would be is each month we'd be able to, for a subscription fee, send them out our baking flour. They can use these in the different recipes. We can then share it, create a little community and forum. So not only is it increasing our marketing for free, but then it's also sort of getting our brand ambassadors out there who are interested in using the product. But yeah, so that's sort of what we're doing and what we're moving with. But
Was that Jiminy Cricket Flour with Disney?
no, it was not. Unfortunately, the name was taken a little bit. But that's one of our pushes. Obviously, we'll see in some of our branding approaches. But right now,
I don't think kids want to eat Jiminy Cricket.
I don't know. It depends if he listens too much.
He was originally evil.
Yeah.
In his origins.
How does a radio spot on Disney Radio, how does that relate to your target market?
Perfect. So it's almost more of a PR campaign of actually getting the word out there. So we know there's an educational hurdle where not many of you have probably ever eaten a cricket. You know, it's probably not something you're thinking about. We sort of taken this idea because right now 80% of the world currently eats crickets and insects in their diets. So it's taking something that's inspired by a global trend but targeting it towards an American dietary need. So what we've done is by going out there and educating either how you can use it or how people are using it, or that this is a market. It's not so much of a crazy idea. We're the first one breaking the way. No, actually there's Exo that Omar will talk about. They have a $1.2 million budget. They can continue to push this forth. And then once again, we're helping to support and educate the community as well. So,
and to further on that, so we have to do a whole paradigm shift as far as American dietary trends, and so we want to target a lot of youths with that too, so that they kind of grow up with our product.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why Radio Disney would be a great avenue for that.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, tapping on that, we're going to move over into our business model and strategy with Omar Ellis.
All right, so our market overview. So we fall into the food prep product market, which is under food manufacturing, and this is a roughly market size of $2.65 billion. We took out the exports and imports because we're going to focus domestically, and that gives us a TAM of $1.48 billion. And a SAM, if we focus on the West Coast, of $352 million, and then our serviceable, obtainable market, the Oregon market, which is 1.9% of this, is $28.1 billion. However, we think these numbers are out of our reach. We don't really think they're realistic, even though that's where our product would fall in the industry. We feel that the closer would be the $20 million cricket flour market, which that's what it's estimated at right now. This market has only been in existence for 2 years here in the United States, so $20 million in those 2 years, that's grown pretty rapidly. more realistic is 10% of this market, and that would give us a serviceable, attainable market of $2 million.
How many pounds of cricket flour is that? How many pounds of cricket flour is $2 million worth of sales? On the spot?
Let me get a calculator.
Yeah, well, it depends on the product.
Yeah,
lines.
Okay.
it really depends on what
Okay,
it makes
good
of
on.
it. As far as market validation, so companies like EXO and Chipotle are proven market validation with the repeat customers and funding. EXO, as you see down here, just recently closed a $1.2 million Series A. They're also being now offered on JetBlue as a snack that you can purchase. Chipotle, this whole movement was really started by Pat Crowley, who owns Chipotle. He was seen on Shark Tank, and Mark Cuban was smart enough to give him $50,000 for 10%. And then also proving this is the successful Kickstarter campaigns. So each four of these companies has run a Kickstarter campaign, and each one of them has hit their goal and exceeded them. The minimum being 115, but you can see EXO and Six Foods, who makes a nice little chip made out of crickets, both of them hit 235 or 274 respectively, which says that people are out there and they want to buy this product and they're interested in finding out more about it, especially if they're putting money into it.
How many backers on each of those campaigns?
Lots.
Okay.
I can get you that information.
That would be more interesting than the number of dollars.
Okay.
Interesting.
Point to the slide though is that people are going to give money for it, and they've already proven that through Kickstarter and crowdsourcing. Competitive landscape. So this is us right here. Biddy is our closest competitor. They do sell a cricket flour, like all-purpose baking flour as well. They have their own proprietary blend. They're based out of San Francisco. Then we have EXO, who we consider the market leader. We talked about how much money they just were able to raise, but they also they have 4 different types of protein bars. Chipotle and EXO are doing protein bars. Six Foods is doing the chips, like we talked about. These are 3 of suppliers. Next Mono Farms out of Canada. Thailand Unique is the global leader in cricket flour. They've been doing this for years and years. They have infrastructure set up already. Inspire is pretty much the growing conglomerate here out of Texas. They're starting to acquire some other companies that are in the industry. And they also, the leaders behind this won the Halt Prize for how to feed third world nations by using crickets and other mealworms as a source. Yeah, absolutely.
So how come the market leaders in EXO and Chipotle are only targeting like click bar or nutrition bar? Is it the growth of that segment itself, or?
I think it's an easy way to introduce, so nobody's going to go take a bite out of a cow or chicken. You're just not going to eat a cricket. So it's an easy way to introduce a relatively crazy product, if you will, in a very normal fashion and as a protein bar. And it's they're targeting that also because that's a lifestyle of health and sustainability. That was a target demographic, and people like that buy a lot of protein bars. So, yes, ma'am.
On the previous slide, did I see correctly that your price per pound is about twice what Biddy's is, the flour?
No.
Our price for 100% cricket flour is $42. Our price,
Theirs is 20?
There's the baking.
absolutely. So our price for all-purpose baking flour is in the 20s as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and we actually will give you more than they do. So, but 2 different products, but our similar product is priced similar to those.
If you're gonna get to this, that's fine, so just tell me, differentiation, why yours versus Biddy?
Taste, flavor, you know, it's because of the economy of scale I'm built up at this moment. There's kind of a level of how much cricket just costs, around $4.50 to grow per pound of not milled cricket. So it takes a lot of crickets. It takes about 5,000 crickets to make a pound of cricket flour. Until those economies kick in, there's really, the margins aren't there to play with that much. So I don't know if that answers your question or totally out of it.
Well, and they're also gluten-free, so their actual cost of goods sold are going to be a lot higher than ours actually are, because we actually went with an actual gluten mix. So people who don't normally cook with an actual gluten-free flour, probably the market is going to be using the normal gluten flour, even though that's a stagnant market that's declining. What we've done is our actual cost of goods sold are even going to be better margins than what they have. So hopefully we have a faster rate of acceptance.
Numbers on those margins?
For ours?
Yeah.
Or for theirs?
Yours and theirs?
Yeah, so for our margins per cup, we're at about $2.83 per cup for our actual, I mean, it's 30% cricket flour, 70% of the actual gluten-based wheat flour. If you look at theirs, our protein and all that stuff is comparable to what they're offering at 7 grams of protein per cup. So for what they're actually using their proprietary blend, we made our own of an actual gluten-free mix, and we're up there at like the $3 to $4 mark. So right now, we're already seeing that if we're just doing our normal gluten-based mix, we're already $1 or $2 cheaper from what we've been able to actually create on our own from theirs.
The margins are upper 70s to low 80s.
Okay. Thank you.
So you have a gluten-free mix and a gluten mix?
We do, but
You offer both?
yeah, we have both. We're more pushing the actual gluten mix just because of margins, but we do have it and are able to execute on it. But
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I noticed with the other ones, they don't have cricket anywhere in their name or anything. When customers go to look for this, are they looking for cricket or are they looking for the nutritional content?
So they're looking, as far as Charles was talking about, whether people are searching for cricket flowers and cricket-based substances. So as far as branding though, we do have to, we can't call ourselves cricket flowers obviously in a brand because it's describing our product. So we are going to rebrand in the future. We're trying to figure that problem out. If that makes sense.
for our actual trademark strategy, but yeah.
So this is a temporary placeholder for our brand. So, any other questions on that?
So how much money have these people raised overall? So Exo's raised 1.2 million. Biddy is, what's their situation? Aspire looks like they've got their lot of resources behind them.
Yeah, so Aspire won $1 million from the whole prize last
Yeah.
year. So together, those are the three. Let me get, that's the next slide, sorry. So those three are VC backed. They just raised 1.2 million, but they were in, before that, they were in accelerator, it's called Excel Foods, which they get $40,000, and then after that, believe they were given another $100,000 upon graduation. Chapul won the $50,000. I believe that's all they've raised so far. That's from Mark Cuban, and then we talked about the million neighbors.
Yeah.
So our points of differentiation between all these competitors is that we sell cricket flour, and we can do a supplier, and we also do a consumer product. Brady just does a consumer product, and Exo and Chapul also, and Six Foods just do consumer products. These three are the major suppliers like we referred to earlier. As far as the competitive amount, this is where we see ourselves. You have consumer product up at the top, and you have cricket flour and frozen crickets at the bottom. We see ourselves kind of in the middle at this point because we do supply 100% cricket flour that we're buying wholesale, and we do also supply a consumer product. We are looking to move more into the consumer product area in the future. The biggest part is the brand presence. There's not a lot of IP dealing with crickets in the process. They've been around for a long time. So your brand presence is everything and how you get that trademark. So we're hoping to quickly gain brand presence and move over to this further side. And we ideally like to be up here.
So you want to be a consumer product company with a really good brand.
In the long, yes. So as far as acquisition goes, which Jenny will speak to earlier or further later, how's that? It's more attractive for companies in the food industry to have be a consumer product instead, not just a distributor.
Okay.
So, as far as our business model goes, so right now we currently buy wholesale from All Things Bugs, and they're based out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we sell it. They produce in 5,000-pound batches, and they only sell in bulk, minimum 50 pounds, which is really expensive, especially at almost $35 a pound is what they sell it at. So the normal consumer can't get to that. So we buy from them in large chunks, and then we sell it off at higher margins is what we're currently doing as private label. Initially, we're selling to our consumers that are on our website. We target the LOHAS, which I spoke to earlier. We want to get into farmers markets in Portland, here in Eugene, over the next 6 months. We also wanted to get into CrossFit boxes. Some CrossFits around here sell products in their gyms. That's how we were going to get those customers. And our B2B strategy, our further strategy, is to identify early stage companies and create strategic partnerships with them. This industry is getting a lot of traction, and so we want to identify those companies that are looking for suppliers so that we can be the long-term supplier for them and or make contracts with them.
So you said just a side ago you want to be a premium brand with a consumer product, but you just said you want to be an ingredient supplier to all these other companies. Which one do you want?
Well, currently, we do want to end up being a consumer product business. However, for the foreseeable future and for our financials, we just can't jump straight into that, so we're looking to fund those product investment and product innovation by being a supplier. So we do want to identify those companies and create larger orders for us, and larger purchase orders through that way to fund our other side. Yes, Caleb?
Do consumers care about where the crickets come from? What the crickets are fed?
I believe they do. there's definitely a difference between human grade consumption crickets and what you feed your pet. I don't know if you want to speak to that further.
Yeah, so,
It's like GMO-free crickets?
Well, so cricket, let me explain that again. So cricket is going to be comprised of whatever's in its digestive system when it's milled down. So
what do they eat?
Well, but they're built on what they eat, right? I mean, so.
Yeah.
So what is, I mean, the cricket is comprised of what's in its digestive system plus what it was.
Yeah, so you could flavor cricket powder by feeding it certain things. You can make it gluten-free, you could make it not gluten-free, you could do a whole bunch of stuff with it. But I would assume that most of you, and at least the people that we've talked to, prefer their crickets come from the United States, where they know they have regulations like FDA, than from Thailand, even though Thailand Unique, our competitor, does comply with FDA standards.
Right. I mean, it could easily be cricket flour made from toxic crickets.
for sure, and that's,
Negate any positive benefit that you would get from
yeah.
Absolutely.
eating cricket flour.
And that's why we chose our supplier, who's a US-based company that actually sources for human-grade consumption crickets and then mills them, and we have a proprietary process that actually gets a finer grain than what you get from some of these other companies.
Have you thought about farming your own crickets?
We have.
Organ-raised, GMO-free crickets?
We have. We just don't have the expertise to do that.
That are grown on hops or
Or way actually.
Right that down.
yeah.
No, originally that was a plan. We wanted to be totally vertical. However, we just don't have the knowledge to do that. It takes a lot of knowledge to make these pins in the rearing practices.
I broke it.
Sorry, buddy. So
you guys have, does Jenny have something to say? 'Cause
Yeah,
you guys are out here 20 minutes, so.
all right. This rest of the business model. After we get $250,000, we're looking to sign an exclusivity agreement with our supplier. If he sells all of his supply at one time, he gets roughly $200,000. So we think 250 is a good number to be able to present him to get that agreement. Product validation, and we want to release products every 6 months. Sorry.
I'll talk fast, but not nearly that fast. So I'm going to talk about the financials and how this is going to make money. This is our pro forma income statement. Obviously, we're going to be running at a loss in this first year, but after the second year, we're going to have a nice steady income, and it's going to continue to grow until our pro forma ends in 2019. We have structured our financials in such a way that we're all going to stay cash positive the entire way. We have a lot of recurring revenue going back, getting plowed back into the company in order to keep that cash up, and we're going to have an ending balance of over $4 million by the end of 2019. Now I know you're asking how we're going to make this all happen. And how I determined our growth rate and our revenue is through the Google Analytics of our website that Charlie alluded to earlier. I created a unique visitor value, and that is the average of the past 3 months of how much each visitor brings to the company. So that's about 40 cents. And I also determined a feasible growth rate for the unique visitors. Since we are such a young company and this industry is so young, we do not have the historical data to really get solid trends, but we feel that 150% growth month over month in the unique visitors is feasible and achievable.
How long do you expect that growth rate to exist?
Forever. So I also determined that with this, our new products are going to help generate that revenue that's going to help sustain this steady growth. Yes?
So are you counting 100% on just SEO, than just like Google searches that are bringing people to your site right now?
As of right now, we are, but that's for future strategy. We'll have to break out to actually continue and obtain some of that market share going forth.
And so a lot of our funding milestones, we're going to need an initial influx of about $6,000 by the end of January 2015 to pay off our current cricket supply, and also to keep this growth that we've already established. By the end of March 2015, we'll need another $20,000 in order to pay for our next big shipment of inputs and also maintain that growth. Ideally, by the end of January 2016, we'd like at least $50,000 to help accelerate the growth that we have planned and also increase to that 6-month product cycle that Omar alluded to earlier. So for example, with that simple $50,000 investment in January of 2016, if we were to exit by the end of August of 2019, we would be valued about $20.8 million with an ROI of 42x. Now I know that's really, really big. You guys are kind of like, oh my goodness. But how we're gonna do that, like I said, is through acquisitions. The food packaging industry and realm is full of acquisitions. Big companies are not going to invest the time and dedication to focus out on these little niche areas. So, for example, we have J.M. Smucker purchased NRA, who is the parent company of True Roots, or an organic and natural grain company. For an undisclosed amount in 2014, General Mills purchased Annie's. Similar products for $820 million. And then we also had Aspire Food Group that Omar alluded to earlier that purchased World Ento, which was the first company that provided human-grade milled crickets for human consumption.
Okay.
Now, can I have two more slides?
Two more slides.
Two more slides. I'll talk really fast. So let's find our team that's going to get us there because this is obviously a really good opportunity. We have Charles Wilson, who is our CEO. He has extensive knowledge in entrepreneurship and is a JD student at the University of Oregon. We have Omar Ellis, who has extensive experience in operations and logistics with the U.S. Air Force, as also digital media. And my name is Jenny Pullman. I will be the Chief Financial Officer, and I'm an entrepreneurship MBA student with experience in distribution and receiving, as well as customer service. And we are backed by an amazing team of advisors that encompass all aspects of the food production industry, from sourcing to distribution to product development. And with that, I would like to answer any questions if we have any time left.
And we'd like to thank Galen for showing up for our advisory.
Thank you, Galen. Sorry, I cut out the little spiel about you.
That's all right. So I got feedback time, and I'll go first.
You are still not sold on crickets, I can
No,
tell you.
it's not the crickets. I don't care about where the stuff product comes from. But you talked a lot about stuff that doesn't matter in your early presentation part. You told me how about kids that are hungry in the United States. I have no idea how you solve that problem. And it doesn't. You don't tie your business back to that problem whatsoever. So there's just a lot of stuff here that doesn't make that it's just a lot of stuff that you threw out here. There's a lot of good here, but it's just a lot of stuff right now that needs to be sorted out.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. It's just a comment. But there's stuff to be sorted out. Yes.
Chris, question.
You can ask questions too.
Do you need a commercial grade, like FDA approved kitchen to do the milling and, or to do
Not
the
necessarily.
blending of flour?
That's so the
No.
processing and the manufacturing, you just need a license from the state, whichever your agricultural department of the state would be. And we're looking into FDA intercommerce regulations right now. They're not really set in stone, and there's the industry as a whole is trying to get a trade organization set up so that they can figure out some of those regulations and be more specific with them.
So what's your price per your $35 per pound that you pay for it?
No, the average is 30.
So you pay $30, and what do you sell it for?
Per pound, about 43.27.
Okay.
So for that margin price, that's for the one product line. That's why we can go back to the slide, but that's where the actual flavored lines are coming out to actually give us those better margins, because there's no way we'd be able to actually do any kind of distribution with those margins for the 100% pure.
Okay.
So that one probably will stay, just
Okay.
e-commerce, but yeah,
Okay. So you might product mix
for sure.
thing with margins and contribution and all that stuff would be a good thing to think about.
Yep.
Any other feedback or questions?
So first of all, I just want to say good job.
Yes.
That was good. I was just talking with Galen about I think you guys should at some point, and hopefully soon, on your supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
There's the guy that's selling crickets is probably making a lot of money. Those crickets. And I also think that it will be important at some point for there to be a differentiator in your cricket supply.
Mhm.
The GMO-free crickets. What else? I think that's it. Good job.
Thank you.
I'm gonna second that. I think what's awesome, what I really like is the way you guys are kind of MVPing it, and you're just looking at your analytics on your website. Man, if I had a couple beers, you guys better hit me up, because I put some money in this thing. Honestly, I think it looks good. I am really impressed by your team and the presentation. I think it just looks good.
Thank you, sir. Perfect.
How's the ownership structured right now?
It's just with us. So
So split 3 ways?
Just those two right now.
yeah.
And so, go Joe.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what Nathan said when you were talking at the beginning about the kids and the nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was going somewhere.
Yeah.
Some big reveal. it's more of a
I guess,
style.
can I ask you a question on it? I guess when Charles spoke to it and he was speaking that we are the solution by providing those nutrients, you want more in depth on that?
No, I just thought it was going somewhere else. I thought it was going to a specific product. So this is
Okay.
more of a style question. I
Yeah,
thought it was
gotcha.
going somewhere more specific than that.
It was
Then
a good
went very,
attempted
very broad,
style, but it didn't take it all the way.
Yeah, it's more of a fantastic presentation, but I thought it was gonna go to
Yeah.
some very
Some-
clear direction, and
Yeah.
it ended up going to, you know, very, very good, very, very broad.
Okay.
Along those same lines, rather than trying to do the sympathy vote with the kids up front,
Mhm.
have you guys seen a company they have a product out called Mayo that has no eggs in it? They are doing a similar thing to what you guys are doing, but they've been funded by, I think, maybe $100 million so far. And they are, what you could do is say, you know, to get your protein, a cow takes this much, produces this much CO2 and that kind of thing. It's probably a little bit better approach rather than trying to circle back around and say you're going to take care of those kids, because probably not.
So you focus more on sustainability necessarily, or
I think it
environmental
would be a way
impact?
better way of doing it. And
Okay,
that's-
absolutely, and because we have those numbers too, and that might be,
Yeah, I mean, you're basically getting a whole lot more protein for a lot less impact on the environment.
absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, that's key.
Great presentation as well. What about the cholesterol issue?
They are moderately high in cholesterol.
Yeah.
They
I'm
are.
gonna disclaim that to begin with, because, you know, quarter cup, 25% of your habits daily, you know, there's something to be concerned with.
That's why we're initially targeting the low HOS. Hopefully they're burning that off and keeping their body in good shape.
So like,
I don't know, I mean,
But to his point, I would come up with a way to tackle that problem. Just be proactive about it in your
Mhm.
pitch.
Yeah, and one part of it too is that nutritional label that's up there is for the actual baking flour, so you're seeing 70% of gluten and that actual content
Yeah.
adding to that profile
Yeah.
instead of what's on the back of our,
Yeah, because what happened was, he noticed it, and he shared it with me, and we started this little side conversation about, oh, look, the cholesterol is pretty high, you know, so
Yeah.
probably better to just get ahead of that.
Okay,
And the only other thing I would add is, you know, you talked about a 5-year exit strategy. You know, it's like, give up some ownership so you can grow faster and get that supply chain problem solved.
yeah.
And then exit in 2 or 3 years, you know, because you do have quite a few competitors in the space, you know, so
Okay.
faster the better.
or you could be the aggregator. You could be the aggregator, right? 'Cause all these little product-y companies are gonna have trouble doing their thing,
Yeah.
right? And growing, so you could do that. Other feedback?
I just want to comment, if you guys want to stick with the, you know, saving the starving children of America, is maybe you kick back a, you know, percent of your profits to either the companies that make them or the schools or schools that use your product.
Yeah, we had mentioned that.
yeah.
But yeah, that's a great idea.
I have a daughter, and that was a concern of mine, because that's the mission for me, being in helping other kids. Would it be too much to put Sarah McLaughlin on that?
No, we pick someone else.
It might be.
Just selling fuel, yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the
All right,
question.
thank you guys. Okay, while we've got everybody here, except for the guys who had to the seminar, I thought it would be a good time to announce the winner of our elevator pitch competition. So, I want to say, first of all, that it's awesome. Everybody did pretty good on the elevator pitch. Every pitch got a vote, at least one vote. Ty?
Yeah, I voted for myself. I'm not a moron. I understand they count.
So it was actually pretty close. It was relatively close, but our friend, Mr. Cricket Flower, won the elevator pitch competition. So.
Did you say it was close?
It was actually relatively close, yeah.
Who's number two? People actually
Number
watch the
2
videos.
was, check that out. Hold on. It's in my email.
There's Ty. There's Ty with one
You're
vote.
getting the second.
It was Shoptimize. Jason, nice work. So, we're gonna take a quick break. I think we can move everything up, if everybody's okay with that, by 5 minutes. Is that all right? Or do you guys, do people feel like they want a break, or do you want to just power through it?
What's that?
Good job.
I'm just putting my.
Break, no break. All in favor of a break?
Up there.
All right, we'll take a break. 5 minutes after 4.
Nathan, yes.